We have never done this before, but I am so excited to share this ancient site. This is a huge, ancient, great house built by the ancient Puebloan people, also known as Chacoans. And I will tell you the name of the site coming up here, but for those of you that are like real history buffs, you might be able to guess what this site is. Again, almost 1,000 years old. It was built around 1080, if you can believe it. And a lot of the structure is still intact. It's only partially excavated. I'm walking backward here. Actually, this long room right here, unusual room, they call the bowling alley. They don't really know what it was for, but they did find a small infant child buried in it, like 4 to 8 months old, they figure. And for the ancient Puebloans, that wasn't unusual for them to have burials in just a regular room. I mean, that's just something they did. Maybe to keep their loved ones close by. I mean, this place is huge. I will try to take my time and, show you as many of the rooms as possible. But if you can believe it, this place altogether had about 350 rooms. Yes, 350 rooms. And this is an interesting one right here. It's a square room, but then later on they built a kiva, a round kiva into it. So very interesting how they did this. And the ancient Chacoan people were just master stone masons. I mean, you can tell a little bit down here where later on it was repaired with just river stone at the bottom, but you can see the difference in the stone down there. Yeah, just really interesting. And these kivas like this were used for all kinds of ceremonies. And this is a small kiva compared to what I'm going to show you here. That is very small. And so many ceremonies were done in these kivas. They're still trying to figure out, like I'm just kind of standing and walking out here. You start to see how wide open it gets here. This is an interesting room coming up here. It's got another kiva built into a square room. You can see some of the original wood timbers still in place. Look at that. And again, like I was mentioning earlier, this place is nearly 1,000 years old. This particular room right here, if I remember right, actually had a mural with dots on it. But as soon as it was excavated, the dots kind of faded. They were very artistic, creative people. The construction of these, and I'll get a close-up of a wall here coming up, is just so ahead of their time. And you can just really see the difference if you've seen other ancient sites. When we get a close-up of the stonework of the ancient Chacoan, the ancient Puebloan people, what they could do was really something. And let's head up over here. So many things to talk about this society here. And after they left, I think they inhabited the area for about 200 years before they moved on. And other tribes came in, used the area. The Navajo came in, and you can tell again some of it's been rebuilt here. And this site is under constant maintenance. They do try to maintain it, but what I will say is they don't actually repair a wall that's collapsed. Once a wall collapses, they consider that is what's supposed to happen. They don't rebuild a wall, but before it collapses, they will repair it and maybe replace the mortar with something a little more sturdy, let's say plaster, cement, or something like that. So if you catch the difference on that, and I guess it's because they don't want people, let's say another 1,000 years from now, to think that, oh, these people had plaster and cement or something. It is my understanding. But look at this. We're really getting up high and going deep. Check it out. Huge rooms here. And again, I said these were 3 stories tall. This entire complex had 350 rooms. And they excavated tons of artifacts, pots, tools, a lot of different things. And you got to guess for where this site is? I'm not going to share it yet, but I will say we are in the middle of town. This is a site you can visit. It's only like $4 to visit this. I mean, we got houses right here. So this is not out in the middle of nowhere, and it's easy to get to. So I will share the location. But if you have a guess, certainly comment below. And we are live on several different platforms. So whatever platform you're on, give us a like or a love. Follow us. But we have so much planned, actually. We've been in this particular area of the 4 corners of the U.S. for months now, recording videos. And we have some awesome videos coming out on YT. So if you're not on YT, head over there and subscribe to our channel on YT, because that's where the long form, full-length documentary style videos are going to be released. We interviewed experts. We have an archaeologist. So I can tell you what I remember, but I don't remember everything about this place. And so you're going to want to see that. It's some of the most exciting content I feel like we've done. Very informative. And we're going to actually walk into this kiva right here. And I know a lot of you, you say don't go into the ruins. And that is one of the accepted things, is to stay out of the inside. But this particular site, again, it's a public site. There's a museum here. There's ongoing research. It's a big site. We are allowed to go into a kiva right here. So let's go ahead and step inside here. It's a little overgrown with weeds. And you can see some of the walls are starting to kind of collapse a little bit. We've got a window or an entrance right there that was filled in. You can see different cultures came through, added their own touches to it. And, again, probably another area that needs to be repaired right here. But look at the detail here. the stones cut. It's such a flat surface with little tiny stones in the mortar or the adobe mud here to kind of fill in. I mean, this was unique to the Chacoan society, and actually this is called a Chacoan outlier. It was one of the largest ones, and Chaco Canyon, we spent a lot of time there. That is amazing, and this is basically a part of the, again, the Chaco or the Chacoan society, and they had many of these outlying pueblos, great houses all over the Four Corners area of the U.S. Have you guessed what site we're at yet? I'll give you another hint. We are in New Mexico. So I can narrow this down a little bit. We'll take another look here at some of these other ruins. Amazing. And the wood that they used, they figure it was sourced from forests that could have been 25 miles away from here. I think the stones were sourced from, I think, several miles away from here. The quarry, I think, was 3 miles away. Can you believe that? Like, how did they bring the wood and the stones here many miles away? I mean, pretty awesome when you think about it. Here's another great kiva. I'm sorry, not a great kiva, but a small kiva, we should say. And as you can see, I'm not alone here. Again, it's a public site, so anybody can come here, but it's never been too busy when I've been here. We'll walk around here. I'm going to show you some of the big kivas that they have here. They're amazing. Hi, guys. No worries. We're just live. No big deal. So we're going to head up top here. I think where the, where we're talking probably 3 stories high originally. And one of the things that happens with the desert is the desert takes everything back. Once they abandoned this area, I mean, these just fill in. I mean, these go a lot deeper than this, but you get weather. They had a tornado nearby this spring, a lot of rain. They've had to do a lot of work just recently to keep these intact and accessible. Very deep room right here. And again, original wood timbers right there. Pretty awesome. Again, it's like ancient ruin and civilization right there. Unusual. Have you guessed where we are? Well, I'm going to go ahead and share it. This place is called Salmon Ruins in Bloomfield, New Mexico, close to Farmington. And just this is just a great area. If you want to check out ancient sites, come out here because there's just so many. Chaco Canyon, which is like the masterpiece of all of these sites, is 45 miles from here. Amazing. And again, subscribe to us on YT. You can follow us on the other social media platforms, but we won't be releasing the long form video documentary style there, only on YT. So we've got, oh, this other room over here is really cool. So let me walk over here. And have you guys heard of the lunar standstill? The 18.5, 18.6 year lunar cycle? Have you heard of that? Well, this complex and a lot of the Chacoan great houses were built according to that long 18.5 year lunar cycle. Can you believe it? And we're getting close to sunset here. Might be a little difficult to see down in here. But there is an old, like a, I'll try to think of how to describe it. But basically, this opening right here, this window on the summer solstice allowed light to hit a certain part in here. So there was an alignment for the summer solstice on June 21st, and it hit this ancient ceremony area right here. And it's just, and the whole complex, in Chaco Canyon as well, the seasons, the alignments with the sun and the moon was very important, both for growing crops, but also for ceremonies to the Chacoan culture. And what they were able to do without modern technology to know how to figure that out. I guess they didn't have all the distractions that we have of social media, for example. But let's take a look at the Tower Kiva. That's going to be around the corner over here. So many things to talk about. They actually traded from other tribes 1,000 miles away, all the way down in Mexico, for macaws and macaw feathers. Yes, tropical birds. They actually have, and this site, I remember this clearly because it's so unusual, actually has the largest amount of macaw. Yes, the bird, the tropical bird, macaw burials of all the Chacoan outlier sites. Literally, they've excavated the skeletons of these ancient birds, but macaws like what we see today in the jungle. And they were highly prized possessions, both alive, but also the feathers they used to make blankets, I believe outfits as well. And kind of that was reserved for the elites, the higher up people in the Chacoan society. Oh, this is beautiful. Take a look at this wall right here. I mean, look at the detail. Maybe I'll come at it from this angle right here. But look at the beautiful artwork. Yes, this is original. You might say, oh, you're looking at somebody's stone modern fireplace or something, but no, this is original. Again, 1,000 years ago. And like I mentioned, it's only a partially excavated site. This area right here that's kind of overgrown is considered the plaza. They say you would expect to maybe see various tribes trading different things. They found flutes. You might see the turkeys were something that they had as well. Kids playing out here. Yeah, just they weren't isolated. They did trade with other societies, and amazing that it was up to 1,000 miles away. Here we go with the Tower Kiva. Look at this. And a replica of the wood ladder they would use to climb down in. You're not allowed to climb in here, but take a look. We're getting bigger. This is a larger kiva with so much significance. Actually, it was said that this kiva was the most important room in the entire complex, that they basically planned and built the entire complex around this kiva. They are a very spiritual society. Again, many ceremonies for different reasons, not fully understood yet. And when we ask, we have tried to interview different tribal members about the ancient practices. So far, we've been turned down. It is something that we respect that. I mean, not everybody wants to share everything. And so far, we've been turned down, but we're still asking. We are trying to find the answers, which is what drives Cherie and I to look at these ancient sites and figure out, why, the different societies. Oh, I sucked in a gnat. Like I said, this is being recorded live. You may be watching it after it's been put out there. But you're going to get the unedited version of this, because we are taking our time and really putting our work, editing hundreds of hours on the long form content, the videos that are going to be on YT coming up. But you can always see clips on the other social medias. Pretty common to have two different pits in the kivas. There's one more large kiva here at this site that I will show you here in a moment. Again, those of you just joining us, this is Salmon Ruins. And it was named for the family that, I don't think they discovered it, but they did own the land here for a while before they sold it to the local county here, San Juan County Historical Society, something like that. And now it is a museum. And yeah, the museum has a lot of artifacts in it. It is great to look at. There is so much more here. I'll tell you more about that. And again, walking by more rooms of, like, look at that. These rooms just barely hanging on here. One of the things they traded for was turquoise. And the more turquoise you had, that meant you were a wealthy person. We're getting close to the large kiva here. So again, hit that thumbs up, like, love, whatever platform you're watching on. Give us a follow. We have so much more like this to share. And why are we sharing the location? Well, this is a public place. They actually need your business. It's only $4 to come in here. But they do accept donations over the phone. We will put in the description of this the phone number, the website. If you want to help them preserve this site, you can certainly make a donation, and certainly visit, because like I said before, it's only $4 to visit here, but so well worth it. And there's so much more in the area to see. Another small kiva right here, built into another square room. So again, they believe these were added after the fact. And again, this is partially excavated. So it might just look like, oh, you're not seeing much of anything. These rooms go deeper and they went taller. And a lot of what you see out here or don't see is actually more rooms that have not been excavated. Why is that? It's just really expensive. It's very expensive to do this. This is a nonprofit that they have that does the work here. Actually, I was just told by the director here, Tori, that they've got a group coming out, about 20 to 25 volunteers tomorrow, that are going to do some work on this. So if you're in the area or visiting, I believe they have volunteer opportunities here as well. Another small kiva. This looks like it's on its own. I don't know what that is. Interesting. And there is a lot about this they don't understand. I mean, still trying to figure out everything. But now I'm heading toward the Great Kiva here. So much significance with the Great Kiva, both as their religious or spiritual practices, trade and commerce, maybe having governmental type. Yes, they had an organized society, some kind of government, to make all of this work, because they had to organize, many people to build this. A lot of work. And again, this is just an outlier, a Chacoan outlier society. And just, I can't get in the Great Kiva here. There's a little room off to the side, I think called the it's not quite antechamber, close to that. It's not exactly that. But this kiva was purposely filled back in. They backfilled it with dirt to protect it. That was something I thought was interesting. So it's not that it's not fully excavated. They did excavate it, but they filled it in to protect it. And I think the kiva, the Great Kiva here, is the only room that they did this to. But what do you guys think? This is Salmon Ruins, Bloomfield, New Mexico. There is a lot of other things here to see. There's like some Navajo hogans here. There's a sweat lodge. There is some early settler stuff here. Other things, the museum, a gift shop. And if you want to support, again, give them a call. that's the way to make a donation. Or you could say, hey, I want one of your t-shirts or a gift item out of the gift shop, and they can probably hook you up with that. But they're low tech. They don't have a donation link on their website at the moment, but I hope you'll join Cherie and I in supporting places like this that are working at protecting and saving our history, because this is our history. This is American history, and also helping to discover the truth, because we don't know everything about history yet. I know some of you agree with that. We're still trying to figure it out, and some of the earlier theories that they had about this are wrong, and so they are updating things as they like for example, Aztec ruins, which are very close here, another Chacoan outlier. They named it Aztec because they thought the Aztecs were the ones that built it, but they weren't. But they kept the name Aztec. So you think, oh, it's the Aztecs were here. But no, it was a Chacoan outlier. Now, what can I wrap up the video with here? We've got some prickly pear fruit here. So I imagine they did probably eat that as well, because that is edible once you get around the spines. And I hope you enjoyed this vertical live. This is the first time we've done this, but it's a way for us to share what we've been researching and working on, and a little taste before we release these major longer videos on YT. Again, head over there. There'll be a link below, or at least an address where you can do that. And again, follow us on this social media channel as well. We will try to share shorter clips of what we're doing. But and actually, I was able to fly the drone here. A lot of places I can't. So when this video comes out, we get the full picture of this place with the drone footage. And just to give you an idea, that from this corner of the site, it was nearly 400 feet going one way and 168 the other. I mean, huge, huge, huge site. So thank you for watching, guys, and we will catch you next time.